And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. Got a good one lined up. We're going to go over what the hell's going on. What the hell's going on with crypto laws, Crypto Hulk. But I wanted to start the show off again. I want to get us centered. Get our minds correct. Let's focus on what's important and what's not. We got to look at what's happening and what's not happening. Now, they're doing something. Who's ever in control of all this stuff, they're doing something that we cannot see. Stuff that's supposed to make sense isn't making any sense. I want you to notice these things. All the news that I've been reading off the past 3 months, it's amazing. It's amazing the institutions that have come in. It's amazing how all this tokenization has started. They're talking about this. They're joining banks. Fintech companies are becoming banks. We're seeing amazing stuff go down. Ripple is practically having DeFi and shit, everything all running right now. Yet all the prices dump. Now that's interesting, Crypto Hulk. It's almost like this. I told you something. I told you something years ago. The more good news that comes out, the more bad news is going to come out, or they're going to try to make something bad happen to distract you. There's no fun. If the news right now that I'm reading off came out 6 months ago, 2 years ago, people would be going nuts. The market prices, I'm talking about prices only, that's speculation. The prices would be going insane. But no, the more good stuff that happens in crypto, we get a crypto president. I think initially crypto started going up at the price. And then he gets in office and it dumps. The president says he's going to do this. He's going to have a crypto council for this, and then prices dump. No, wait a minute. How is this possible? These different banks announce they're integrating crypto. The prices dump. What? The only thing I can imagine is who's ever dumping, they've had to have got in at the very beginning. Oh. There's nobody in their right mind. Like, nobody would sell cryptos from 6 months, a year ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago. Why would you sell? Unless you got in at day one, which means you're an insider, which means we got insiders selling. Maybe that's it. Hulk's on top of all that distraction with ICE, and the files for everything is being set up. The way to beat the bank is to become a bank. Yes. So I'm just trying to figure out what is the game. What game are they playing? Because there is no way. I'm going to read off to you news now. How the CFTC, look, we got a guy in the SEC who loves crypto, a guy in the CFTC who's got crypto. We got a crypto president, yet prices dump. That doesn't make sense to Crypto Hulk. So rather than me retreat, which I don't, I already know the fundamentals. That's what my whole show is about, fundamentals. This is not making sense. With all this fundamental news, the prices dump. That makes Crypto Hulk think like there's something not right going on. To me, this is not possible. That's where the law enforcement side of Crypto Hulk comes in. The investigation work I had to do throughout my career, working law enforcement in the office of the courts and stuff. I'm like, I had to perform investigations to help explain to the judge or the court or the district attorney why this or why that. When I look at this crypto space, it is not making any sense at all. There is no way. We go from being totally speculative. 5.5 years ago, I got into crypto. almost 6. The news right now, I've never seen more positive, amazing institutions adopting crypto news, and yet the prices dump. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't. So that leads me to believe somebody is manipulating something. That's how I see it. There's no logical explanation I can see. It doesn't make sense. We're moving closer and closer towards crypto adoption, yet the prices go down, down, down. Doesn't make sense. I almost don't want any good news to come out of crypto because you know what that's going to mean? Prices are going to dump. I mean, look at it, right? Epstein files dropped. Well, look, let me tell you something. If you invest your time and you watch my program, we learn about fundamentals. As long as you're following the fundamentals, I don't care. It's like a crooked poker game, right? As long as you're looking at the fundamentals and you don't get distracted. That's why they so heavily shadow ban this channel like crazy. Because what's a lot of these channels doing? Hype stuff, right? Price prediction. That's the dumbest fucking shit. You have a speculative crypto market right now. What does that build on? Gambling. How the fuck are you going to predict a price on gambling? That's ridiculous. Do you understand that? That is totally a sham. It's a joke. Banks are losing money to decentralized banking. Right. That's a very good reason. Because as you and me become banks, guess what happens to the banks? They get hammered. So they have to somehow get government to not let us do certain things. So I don't know how all this goes down. What I do on my channels, I focus on fundamentals. What do we know? Crypto Hulk, show us what's going to happen according to the information you discover. And then I make my bets on that. These people are running this whole game. You can't understand it. That's why they're running it. They got all stuff we cannot see. There's governments involved, 3-letter agencies involved. I've already shown you all these things. All this stuff's fact. This whole crypto space is designed not to benefit you and me. I want you to stop with the 5-year-old thinking. This crypto space is a power struggle and it's a battle. The crypto space is a power struggle and a battle. They're not here for you. Some people out there, oh, this is going to help level the playing field. No, it's not, you fucking retard. There's these crypto people out there that believe that all this, we're going to be saved by the crypto system, the quantum financials. No, man, this is going to fucking enslave you. Okay? That's what this system is. It's not this thing where, we're all going to be level playing field and free from the banks. That's so fucking stupid. I need some water. I wish this was a beer. It's too early to be drinking. All right. Hulk helped me see the treasure chest through all the bullshit. Thank you, brother, says Iron Sheik XDC. Behind the scenes war for who will prosper and who will control. Behind the scenes war. That's what I think it is also. Yeah, it's a behind the scenes war. The most truth channels like mine will be the most shadow banned. They can't have my message reach out to everybody. Because why? Everybody be like, oh shit, that's true. Let me go buy crypto. They want the prices to dump as hard as they can. So these banks can come in and swoop up and buy all this stuff for as cheap as they can get it. That makes sense to me. Banks got to start buying all these cryptos. They can't have, they got to have a 30-cent XRP or something. It's got to be cheap. They don't want to be buying this shit expensive. Now, I know Ripple makes private deals. All these crypto companies have an ability to do block sales, like Ethereum. Ethereum had a block sale, the Genesis sale when it first came out. What'd they do? Here's how they do it, okay? Ethereum sold 62 million ethers. What they do, they took a block called the Genesis sale and they sold them all at the same price. How does it normally work? As I buy my crypto, the prices go up, and then the next person buys it and it goes up. What they did at the Genesis sale is they took a block of them and sold them all off at the same price. That way the price doesn't go up. Then they had regular Ethereum sales for everybody else. That's how the price. See, they didn't pay no 3,000. These early people in Ethereum didn't pay no $2,000 a piece. No. They come in and they buy them all at like, who knows, a penny a piece or 0.00, whatever it is. That's what happens. Anybody selling off crypto now, you must have got in early, way early. But still, right now, we're in a speculative market, right? We don't have crypto laws yet. I'm going to talk today. I will start this program. And if you only got 10 minutes, your time's up. You got to go. Today, I'm going to show you what the CFTC is saying. My name's Crypto Hawk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. I don't know anything about finance. I sure as hell don't know anything about crypto at all. What I do know is how to use hardcore street drugs every day. Drugs that have no purpose except just to fuck your brain up. Heroin, cocaine, LSD, roofies, meth bath salts, whatever it takes. I get high. Wait, I got 12 minutes. Chris Sharpie has 12 minutes. Okay, you got 15 seconds there, buddy. Rookie numbers, huh? Oh my God, it's always rookie numbers. But whatever I can do, man, the time I wake up, I don't even go to sleep. I just stay so fucking spun out. Maybe I pass out on drugs, and then when I wake up, I'm back to doing them again. That's where you're getting your financial information from. My program is designed to get you financially destroyed. Let me just tell you that. We got a member, S. Harib1. Member for 25 months. Whew, damn. 2 years he's put up. Tropita. Welcome to the 2024 crypto explosion. Now let's go to the CFTs. This will probably dump the price of crypto. I mean, it's almost laughable. You know, it's like unbelievable. I mean, it's great if you're buying. Oh my God. I talked to somebody the other day who just bought like 1 million root networks for like $160. I'm like, what? I was like, shit, man, I was paying like $500 and shit for that. S. Harib1. Awesome. Tax-free dollars. Hey, IRS. What's up, D? You ain't getting shit, bitch. That me and the IRS love each other. We have a love-hate relationship. Here's your article right here. This will dump the price of crypto. I mean, this is almost laughable. The more good news that comes out, it just drives the prices down. Have you noticed that? That's not normal. That's why I got into crypto, because I realized what the news means. Now, this article right here, very interesting. The CFTC chief, Commodity Future Trading Commission, the chief. Now, the last chief we had, his name was Rostin Benham. He didn't do a fucking thing. And then, of course, we had Gary Gensler. That was a complete fucking joke. And then we had Joe Biden. He didn't even know what was going on, honestly. That auto pen he used, Biden wasn't even signing shit. He would just, I don't know what he would do all day, eat ice cream and sit around and talk to him, mumble to himself. Commodity Future Trading Commission chief says pending crypto bill will make the United States the gold standard for digital asset regulation. Now, he's on Fox News with Maria Bartiromo or whatever her name is. And they're actually she's actually talking about cryptocurrency. Now, the mainstream media, that's all Democrat. They can't talk about how good crypto is or anything positive. The only thing mainstream media can do is scare you and tell you that crypto's bad. Do you see what we got going on? It's very, very interesting. Why, if I watch a Republican-centered news show, crypto is looked at as a tool and a way that we can get around hard times. When we look at the Democrat standard news, crypto's looked at as this, oh, there's no investor protection. I'm just like, what? Like this, am I on the same planet, or am I on planet Uranus? So let's look right here. CFTC Chairman Michael Selig said the market structure bill moving through Congress would make the United States the gold standard, everybody. What I'm seeing is kind of like some countries are like ready to go and some are not. Some countries have already announced, I think like Hong Kong years ago, they announced, oh yeah, we're coming out with our crypto bill, and then it just kind of disappears. It's that's what I'm kind of seeing. It's very, I know something's not right. I'm of reasonable intelligence, and I'm somewhat business savvy. Only been running this business for about 5.5 years on a hater fucking platform called YouTube. And I've been fairly successful doing that. But I'm not seeing how this shit is working. We've got, let me tell you something. Here's how I know this shit don't make sense. When the government, eminent domain is when a government has the ability, let's say they want to build a railroad right through your town. So what people will do, this is crypto, but crypto's doing the opposite. This is how I know the bullshit meter. I got to set off the bullshit meter.
You gotta be 3 gallons of bullshit and 2 gallons bucket.
Okay, here's how it works in the real world. The United States government wants to build train tracks, crypto legislation. So, and they want to build a train. That's when we go to the moon. So the government starts having meetings and they figure out they're going to have to run the train tracks through a certain area. Now, smart people, that's us. We hear about the maybe train tracks getting made through Kansas or something, right? So what do we go out? We go out and buy land directly where the train track's going to go. What is that? We're buying our crypto at Caleb Brown, right? And some of these other places, if Caleb Brown doesn't have it. But this is exact same as our show. We listen to the meetings that the government's having. We know they're going to build this train track. We know the trains or the cryptos that they're going to use. We know the towns that they're going to go through. So what do we do at Crypto Hulk Show? We're prospectors. We're there before anybody. Okay, 99% of the mainstream people. And there's people that are way more high-tech than me at finding shit out and stuff. Well, I doubt that. But you get my point. So we hear the train's going to get built through there. Everybody get this crypto, get that one. They're going to use this train track company. Okay, that's stellar. That's XRP. HBAR is working with SealSQ. We know how they're setting all this stuff up. But instead of property, see, in the old days when they announced a train tracks going through, the prices would kind of skyrocket. And then the government would pay you a good lot of, like, normally if there was a desert, nothing was there. But then people start buying up all the land on the desert. Then the prices go up. Now the government has to give you a fair market value price. That would cause the land. That would cause the crypto. That would cause the land prices to go up if people suspected that a train track was running through because they were listening at the town hall meetings, meaning watching Crypto Hulk Show. See how this doesn't make any sense? So the government in this video here with Maria Bartiromo is talking about crypto laws and they're coming and this. Now, what's happening? Crypto prices dump. The exact opposite of what should be happening. That's why I had to hit the bullshit meter earlier. Not for dramatic effect, although I do like to have a little drama. But what we're seeing here is it's doing the complete opposite. That's how you know something ain't right. Okay. I have no doubts the positions that I'm in are going to be successful. I base it all on facts that I have on my program. So I know I'm investing correctly. What we're seeing is a manipulation of a system, and I don't quite understand how it's all working because I'm not a trader. I don't know how all this government trading stuff happens. So let us get with this here. So you got the CFT chairman saying that we could have the gold standard in America. Michael, what's his name? Michael Selig. Michael Selig said the United States has lacked in the past. The United States had, that's under Joe Biden and stuff. And actually, when Trump was president the first time, he didn't really like crypto at all. But then he learned. People like, oh, Trump in his first presidency. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's the first presidency, dumbass. He's in his second one, dumbass. Okay. And if we look at what's happening, he doesn't look anti-crypto to me, dumbass. So what we got here is Michael Selig says, and I'm going to kind of add a little bit. In the Biden administration, they lacked clear digital asset oversight. And that new legislation would provide token taxonomy and defined jurisdiction. Okay, what is taxonomy? A taxonomy is when you describe all the parts. You got Gary Gensler that could not tell us what was what. The only thing Gary Gensler told us is that all this shit was securities. Actually, I don't even know if he said that. He said, I don't have to tell you what it is. We already have the Howey test. So he could never give an answer. This is what token taxonomy is right here, is when they break it down and explain. And then define jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means what cryptos are in certain areas. We have crypto securities, crypto commodities, crypto utility tokens, cryptocurrency, on and on, crypto utility. So he's saying this right here, that it's coming. Crypto legislation could reach Trump's desk, he says, in the next couple of months. Now, that's if the Democrats let it. They're going to be fighting this the whole way. The Democrats don't want us to come up. They've been fighting this. It's not just my opinion. Oh, you're a Democrat hater. No, it's the truth. All these Democrats, not one of them ever really vote for crypto at all. It's very interesting why it's all Republican. That's another thing I should tell you. Look, crypto has nothing to do with Republican, Democrat, but why are like 99% of these Democrats not even voting for crypto at all? Like that, what's going on with that? Why is it the Republicans are like 100% crypto and the Democrats are fighting it? Like I'm not trying to, that's just how it is. But I'm trying to find out why. That's what I'm doing. I'm not making fun of me, but I'm trying to find out, why is this? Is there something I'm not seeing here? The goal of legislation is just to get some clarity. It's been too long with these markets just languishing, and they've fled offshore. Our country's best builders, entrepreneurs, and innovators are really, for the first time, looking at a system where we can have clarity, rules of the road, a token taxonomy, so we know what's security and what's not. This is what I'm talking about. We have government officials that want this crypto to succeed. And then you got this party called Democrats that don't even want it to succeed. I'm not understanding this at all. So now we're going to get into my deep dive, Crypto Hulk. If they can't pass, see, here's the thing. We've got to have crypto laws. And Jeffrey Gaylord, right on. Thank you very much. Tax-free donation. Totally appreciate that. BK, member for almost 3 years. Wow. Wow, can't believe how wrecked I've been for almost 3 years. Well, that'll be the effect of watching this program. You will get financially destroyed. That's why Jeffrey Gaylord paid money so we can get financially destroyed on this channel. Now, Crypto Hulk, what if we don't get a bill passed? That's the goal of the Democrats. The goal of the Democrats would actually create a crypto bill that would force us to lose all of our crypto so that they control it. That's okay. That would be the one that they would pass. So we've got a battle going on. Now, there's a couple ways crypto could move forward. I'm going to talk about the biggest way. There's two. One, the president's cabinet creates rules and framework and all that stuff, not laws. But the president's cabinet's very powerful. The president can bypass Congress and have his cabinet create rules, framework, stuff like that. That's a way that it could work. Another way is FSOC, Financial Stability Oversight Council. They're a prudential regulator. They got a lot of power to create rules, framework for crypto. They can tell the OCC what to do and all this stuff. We're going to discuss that right now on Crypto Hulk program because I want to show you. Now, here's the problem, though. If Trump doesn't get this law passed when he leaves office, when he will, and if a Democrat gets elected, then they can create laws to undo what Trump did through the FSOC. I don't know how this goes. I have a feeling this is probably going to take a long time. I don't know. Because I just see so much resistance out of the Democrat side of the government that Trump might have to use what they call the nuclear position, use FSOC and his cabinet to just bust out rules and get shit done. But the problem is when Trump's term ends and if a Democrat gets elected, they can undo all the shit that Trump just did. So now we're back to square one again. They'll probably put Gary Gensler back in and Rostin Benman will sit around for another 4 fucking years not having any crypto laws. And then if a Republican gets in, then they fight till we get nothing for 4 years. Then a Democrat comes in and we just sit around fucking around. That's how the shit works. They had 4 years. The Democrats under Joe Biden had 4 years to do something, not one thing. What they do, just shut it down. Trump gets in office. Okay, he's super pro-crypto. He puts in Paul Atkins, and we got rid of Gary Gensler. We got rid of Rostin Benman and the CFTC. What happens now? Democrats are fighting. Then they don't vote. They vote it down. Republicans lose, let's say, next election. Democrats get in. We're back to 4 years. Ain't nothing happening at all in crypto. They'll start passing laws. Oh, it's illegal to have your hardware wallet. You can't hold crypto. We're trying to protect you. It's used for drug dealers and midget hookers, shit like that. Okay. That's what we'll have 4 years of that dumb shit. Okay. Now, let's look. Here's what this is. It's called FSOC. Now we're going to do a little deep dive on FSOC. These are some ways that if the president wanted to get this thing started, he'd have to go through FSOC, Financial Stability Oversight Council. That's where this begins. Now, Grok helped me out, and it says, I believe the groups, because I asked Grok, hey, Grok, how would the president get crypto regulations through? Because regulations are not laws. How would the president get crypto regulations through without going through Congress? And there's two ways. One way is this, the president's cabinet. Okay. It consists of the vice president and the heads of 15 executive departments, such as Secretary of State, the Treasury, Defense Department, shit like that. Okay. So the president picks his cabinet, the people he wants to work with, and the Senate has to confirm him and say, okay, yeah. It's just like he can't have like Kid Rock or Snoop Dogg on his cabinet. I mean, it might work. Congress would have to approve it. The Senate would have to approve it. While only Congress can pass laws, the cabinet oversees the executive department, agencies that can promulgate regulations. Meaning, Congress makes laws, but the president can pick the top person at each department and like steer that policy into where it goes, as long as it doesn't violate laws. So the president can get the treasurer and have him come over and sit down. The president can have the economic secretary come over and sit down. Let's figure this shit out. Let's create regulations and rules, not laws, regulations and rules. And they can get it done and can start working. He doesn't need Congress's approval for that. The president can get this stuff done. And again, the problem would be is when President Trump leaves, Democrats come in and undo what he just did. If you had crypto laws, they can't just come in and undo shit. To undo a law, you got to have a majority, like 3/4 of Congress or some shit like that, okay? So we're talking about his cabinet right now. This is a way that Grok says the president could achieve crypto regulations and rules is by his cabinet getting all this stuff done. This often fills in the details or addresses issues where Congress has provided broad guidelines, but not specific directives. So Congress hasn't really done anything. The president's cabinet can get stuff done if they want, okay? As long as they operate within Congress's rules. Now, Congress can't say, oh, that's outside of your scope, because then the cabinet will be like, well, you don't have crypto laws. So you can't tell us. See, it becomes a court battle because if your laws are not, that's where the taxonomy comes in. See, we don't have a taxonomy in the United States Code. We go back to that again. The United States Code. You need to have a taxonomy in the United States Code. That's how we know what's good and what's not. Well, Congress isn't doing this on purpose. So the president could just use his cabinet and start doing all this crazy stuff. And Congress be like, oh, that's in violation of law. Then the president be like, no, it's not, because guess why? We don't have any laws. Okay. So that's where this will end up in the Supreme Court, because the Democrats will be fighting this the whole way, but yet they continue not to create crypto laws on purpose. Think of Gary Gensler. Did Gary Gensler come out with anything specific? No. Why? Because he kept it kind of, well, we don't know this or we don't know that. Gary's like, well, the Howey test says it all. That's not an answer. So that's what we have. The president's cabinet can just come right in and start busting moves, okay? That's one option President Trump can do if he can't get Congress to get their shit together. Okay. Now the other way Trump could do this is through FSOC. It stands for Financial Stability Oversight Council. It's a government body established by the Dodd-Frank Act in 2010. So FSOC came about so that we don't have another financial crisis. Remember, in about 2008, the United States, almost 20 years ago, had a bad recession, okay? And it was horrible. So in Congress, they created something called the Dodd-Frank Act, and it was designed to monitor and address the financial system. They had to look for risks. So that's what FSOC was made to look over any kind of problems in the economy and fix them. Now, who makes up FSOC? It's a small group. You got 10 voting members and then 5 non-voting members. They make up the heads of major federal financial regulatory agencies like Secretary of the Treasury, the SEC is a member, FDIC, Consumer Finance Protection Board, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, I think the credit unions of the United States, the FHFA, an independent insurance expert. So now we got two ways. The president's cabinet or FSOC could make rules and regulations and get all the shit squared away. But that won't happen because the Democrats will fight it and claim that it's illegal and it'll end up in court. But then Trump will argue, well, why don't you make crypto laws? And the Democrats say, well, we already have the House. It'll just be Gary Gensler talking, all right? So that's what would happen. If the president tried to fix it, they'd still fight him. Anything he did, they're going to come at him and try to stop it and shut it down. So we can go back to a Gary Gensler and Rostin Benman kind of a government. The Financial Stability Oversight Council doesn't have the power to pass laws. That's Congress's domain. But FSOC plays a role in addressing regulatory gaps and jurisdictional overlaps in areas like crypto. So in the law, if it's not specific enough, Trump can come in and say, okay, this is what that means. Now, if Congress don't like it, guess what? They got to clarify it even more. So you have a law that says cryptocurrency are securities or something, right? Okay. Or no, crypto are securities. And that's all it says. Well, FSOC could come in and say, well, but what about a utility token? It's clearly not a security. And what about cryptocurrency? If you have something like the dollar bill, that's clearly not a security. So therefore, FSOC would step in and say, cryptocurrencies and utility tokens are not securities. So FSOC can come in and say what things are. Now, if Congress don't like it, they got to pass a law with a token taxonomy right there. If Congress doesn't get specific, FSOC can get specific. See how this works? So the president can bypass all of Congress to get something done by using FSOC. But how you really want to do it is you want Congress to all vote together to create laws. Because again, once President Trump leaves, if the Democrats win, they can just undo everything the president just did. Because those are not laws. Those are rules and guidance. And it's different with laws. You need like 75% of Congress to, undo that shit. So let me see how much time we got. Okay, I'm going to shift away from that. Shifty shift. That's briefly what I wanted to show you. Now, the financial stability, Dodd-Frank. Okay, read that to you. Yeah, we'll get rid of that one. You check the comments. Yeah, you got Pocahontas and Maxine Waters fucking all this shit up. Blunt B. Stinger, $500 members. Do I just super chat in the full amount here? No. Let me go to my Instagram. Contact me on. Let me get my Instagram address. What I'll start doing is if you sign up, I'll get 5 people, and I'll look for your name. You'll be number 1. I'll pick 5 people, and you'll get 3 months worth of Crypto Hulk at $500. That way, if something happens a month from now with crypto laws, you can always call me up right. Okay, Crypto Hulk, what are we going to do with this, that? Let me get my profile. Okay, it's the Crypto Hulk in lowercase. Let me copy and paste this. because when these crypto laws come down, there's going to be a lot of moving and grooving. And I might start switching up some of my cryptos to this, to that. If I see what's going on, there might be certain cryptos that I think are going to get wrecked. So there's my Instagram. Contact me there, and I'll get you the Telegram group links, and you'll have access to calling Crypto Hulk and texting and getting whatever information you need. There's my, let me get my X. I mean, not my X, but X. Okay, there's that. My profile on X. Now you have to send me a message and tell me, hey, Crypto Hawk, I want to join the $500 club. And then I'll follow you. And then try to message me again. Or I'll contact you. Just because it's a little tricky on X. Sometimes it blocks people from sending me messages. So there you got Instagram and X. And that should be good enough to get a hold of me. But that's where the $500 people initially contact me. So first you make a donation, and then you contact me on these other, because that $500 is not a membership, it's a donation. It's tax-free. Okay, Chuck says, Crypto Hulk market getting crushed, prices getting crushed. Let's be specific. Crypto price market getting crushed and giving us cheap prices. I'm buying now so I don't have to make a sign and stand outside a store. That's what's going to happen. Right now, it's super cheap. Let me get to this news here. I want to make sure I get in articles here. All right, Ethereum. We're going to go through this quick. I wanted to show, I gave that first part of my show because I want you to see what really could happen. The president could really bust through regulations and rules and just bypass Congress completely. This could take off very quickly, but then Congress will be fighting them like crazy. You got a fight going on. It's basically what it is. Quantum threat gets real. Ethereum Foundation prioritizes security with lean virtual machines and PQ signatures. Earlier in January, the Ethereum Foundation formally elevated post-quantum security to strategic priority. Are you hearing me? This is why we got Seals Q stock for those of you that bought it, because right now Ethereum elevated the quantum threat to top priority. Like they know it's coming, okay? Ethereum is creating a dedicated post-quantum team. You know what's so ridiculous? All you got to do is contact HBAR and you're done. You got your team right there. But these people are going to try to reinvent the wheel. All right. Quantum computing has long been a distant theoretical threat, not to Crypto Hulk. You know why I stopped buying crypto in 2020? Do you know why about 5.5 years ago I stopped buying crypto? Because I knew a quantum threat was coming. I was that early, okay? What did I do? Then I started buying gold and silver. Look how that turned out for me. Actually pretty fucking amazing. That's how it turned out. So back in 2020, for 3 months, I bought XRP and VeChain, and that was it. And then I stopped, and then it was gold and silver ever since. Then January 2025, stopped buying gold and silver for the most part. Well, yeah. And got Caleb Brown, started buying crypto. Had to kind of catch back up to where I should have been. Now, quantum computing has long been a distant theoretical threat, not to Crypto Hulk, a blockchain cryptography. But over the recent months, that's shifting. Early in January, Ethereum Foundation formally elevated post-quantum security to a strategic priority. Everybody that got into Seals Q and HBAR, congratulations. Ethereum just got to the party. We've already been there about a year. Ethereum just woke up, okay? That's how early you are in Crypto Hulk. I was telling you guys about a quantum threat and all that, and people are like, oh, well, I don't know if it's all that bad. Well, look at it right now. Like a year later, now all of a sudden it's a big fucking deal at Ethereum. It wasn't when we started buying Seals Q at $1.80 or $1.70. Nobody was giving a shit then. All of a sudden, right now, Ethereum elevated post-quantum security to a strategic priority. Oh my God. This is what's up. We are early. When you watch Crypto Hulk, you're early. So what is Ethereum doing? They're creating a dedicated post-quantum team to drive research, tooling, and real-world upgrades to protect, well, Seals Q is already done. They're already done. Seals Q is already done. In fact, they're opening up a factory in India to create the microchips. They're already done. You are early. Congratulate yourself for watching Crypto Hulk Show. Quantum computing is moving from theory into engineering. We're so early that Seals Q and HBAR and SpaceX are already putting this shit in satellites. We're so early that Seals Q and HBAR already have government contracts. Ethereum just woke up. That's embarrassing. Quantum computing is moving from theory into engineering, says Thomas, who leads the Ethereum Foundation. That changes the timeline, and it means we need to prepare. Well, it's about time. At the same time, major industry players are building their own defenses. Coinbase announced an independent quantum advisory board staffed with leading cryptographers to guide long-term blockchain security planning. They're going to use Seals Q. I already know. And you guys are going to get rich because of it, because you got in early watching Crypto Hulk. These motherfuckers aren't, Coinbase ain't going to reinvent the fucking wheel. Think about it. If you already got the United States government, the Swiss government, and these other governments already contracted with HBAR and Seals Q, what the fuck's Coinbase going to, like, what, reinvent some new kind of quantum protection? Fuck no. They're just going to buy the shit off of HBAR and Seals Q. It's that fucking easy. You know how much it costs? It costs so much money to do research and development. It's just quicker to buy something else. And across the ecosystem, Optimism, which is one of Ethereum's largest layer 2 networks, laid out a formal 10-year roadmap. Are you kidding me? That shit ain't going to happen in 10 years. That's way too long, dude. You're going to get hacked. You're going to get your cheeks clapped before then. Laid out a formal 10-year roadmap to transition its superchain stack from wallets to sequencers toward post-quantum cryptography. Wow, 10 years? Dang, kind of late to the party there, brah. Seals Q's already got it done. See that? Seals Q's 10 years ahead of these motherfuckers. Cordiger has spent the past year quietly working on post-quantum research with the EF before the effort was formally announced this month. The creation of a dedicated team made public what had already become a growing concern internally. If quantum computers arrive sooner than expected, Ethereum needs to be ready well before that moment. Well, we already are ahead of that moment. We got Seals Q and HBAR. Ethereum's talking about some kind of 10-year plan with optimism. Like, dude, you need to have that shit like now. So he's talking about RBNT. That's what I got. RBNT. What is that? Did it go up 5%? Should I get a stiffy right now, or should I just keep doing the news? Let's take a little looky-loo. I gotta look on this one. Zarian. I gotta look at my Zarian wallet. I got 40 cryptos. Ooh, whole lot of red. Well, I thought that I had RBNT. I think at one point it probably did. I got it. All I'm going to say is I got over 50,000. RBNT, got it. Iron Sheik's like, this fake market's killing his Zebek. John Follett, thank you very much. Johnny, tax-free donation. Somebody is greedy, wants all of us out of crypto. Yes, sir. Let's look at the next article here. The SEC, what is the SEC saying about tokenized securities? Hey, I like this whole Trump, SEC, CFTC. All they're saying is this in this article right here. The United States Securities Exchange Commission has outlined its views on the classifications of tokenized securities and its intention to provide greater clarity. According to the regulator, this is a very short article, and we're going to hop to the next one. What they're saying is this: you've got to treat, if a crypto acts like a security in every way, it's a security. If a crypto acts like a commodity in every single way, it's a commodity. Get it? It's that easy. So that's how this stuff will be. Now, what somebody might have is you might have a token of a security. All right? So you can have the security token. I want you to understand this now. It's a little bit tricky. You can have a security token, but then you can also tokenize that security. So I can hold a token coin of a security, but this is not a security. Get it? It's a token of a security. So here's an example. Gold. In the old days in America, the dollar was backed by gold. What if you're holding a dollar bill? No, $20. That was the price of gold. They said it was for an ounce. Then they changed it to 35 or something. But in the old days, you could have a $20 bill. What is that $20? A token of the gold in the bank, 1 ounce. You understand that? So in the old days, initially it was $20 for 1 ounce of gold. That's how much it was. Now you can hold that $20 bill. It's not gold. It's a token of gold. Okay. Now imagine a security. I could tokenize a security and I got that token. It doesn't mean I own a security. I could trade this because it's not a security. It's a token of a security. So let's look at this. Securities can be issued in multiple formats or converted from one format to another. Conversely, an issuer could tokenize a security without a crypto network being a part of the master security file holder, in which case the crypto asset is not afforded the same rights, obligations, or benefit as the security. So, you know, if you go to buy a stock right now on Robinhood, do you hold that actual stock? No, you don't. Robinhood doesn't control it. There's some custodian that probably holds, whoever's the one that holds it. So what this article is showing is you can buy a crypto but not hold the master file. You don't have the same rights as the person that holds that master file crypto. So technically you don't have a security. You have a token of the security. Get it? So again, an issuer of a token, an issuer could tokenize a security without a crypto network being a part of the master security holder file. So I could be making tokens based on a security. I'm not making the security, I'm making the token of the security, okay? There's a difference. So, in which that crypto that I'm holding here is not given the same rights, obligations, or benefits of a security. So that's kind of what they're showing. I could have a token that's an actual security, but it depends on who's the master file holder. That's the big difference right there. So in case of a tokenized link security, one issued by a third party itself that provides synthetic exposure to a reference security, it is not an obligation of the issuer, nor does it carry the same rights or benefits as a security. So, let's say Firestone. Firestone is the first person. They create stock. Then you get somebody, the second person, they create the token. Then the third person could buy it. I'm not going to get into all this because I don't quite deal with security. We're getting outside of my area. But now somebody would have the actual token that is a real security, and then somebody's going to have a token of that. So, and that person won't have all the same rights as a person that owns the token. You can't get interest every month, blah, blah, blah. And that's a token, so it's not a security. So I'm going to kind of leave that one alone. I'm kind of confusing myself. Now, the United States Security Exchange is explaining its position on tokenized securities, which are basically traditional investments like stocks and bonds turned into digital versions using blockchain technology instead of old school record keeping. These can be created directly by the company issuing them or by unrelated third parties. No matter what, the same federal rules protecting investors still apply. So if the digital version that you own isn't properly linked to the original through the blockchain, it might not give you the same rights and perks as the real thing. So there's going to be some, quote, fake or synthetic exposures. So just like I own 3,000 shares of Bank of America, I could create a token that says I've got 3,000 shares, but you don't actually own it. You have a claim to my tokens. It's kind of complicated. I'm not getting into all that, but that's what the government has to figure out. Where are we at? 59. Okay. Oh, we got a member. Let me write this down. Okay. Mr. Noor. You got 3 months, Crypto Hulk. and we should have crypto laws by then. That's why I kind of I'll give 5 people the opportunity, because I don't want you to get into the $500 group, get all going, and then the crypto laws come in and change shit. Then you're like, oh fuck, now what do I do? I'm like, you know what? Let's roll with this for 3 months, and we'll have crypto shit by if 2 to 3 months at the most. So, 500. Contact me on that social media I showed you. W3. And when you're contacting me, use this name right here. That's the name I'm going to see, at Neurwalk or whatever. Don't use some other name. You got to use that one. Otherwise, I get confused. Okay. I think I'll wrap this up. Bank Social. Let's see. Nice job. Hit that like button. When's that Phoenix supposed to rise? See, you're asking the $1 million question, man. This is a $500 channel, not a $5 million. If I knew that, I could charge $50 million. Well, I'm starting off. I'm only doing this for 5 people. I'm not doing it for everybody because I can't do that. But anyhow, let me get off that subject. What we saw today, thanks, Hulk. What we saw today is the Commodity Future Trading Commission. They're pro-crypto. They want organization. The SEC, Paul Atkins, they're ready. The president, he's ready. What did they just tell us in the news article? About 2 months, it should be on the president's desk. I don't have timelines, everybody, and that could be wrong. Maybe the Democrats fight this, and they look. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you the latest trends. I'm gonna show you stuff before it comes out, and some of you can take advantage of it, and some don't. It's your choice. Ethereum is just now announcing they're starting to get ready with post-quantum. We were ready for that shit a year ago. What my goal is on this program is to show you in advance, using real-world use case, real connections, real news, deep dive stuff. I'm trying to show you what I see. I don't have all the answers. They do, but they're running the whole game. We're not supposed to be here. We're competition. Get it? So they don't want us to see certain things. Why is Crypto Hulk Show so shadow banned? Because I'm showing you all the stuff they don't want you to see. Ripple China, Ripple Russia. Really? Like, who else is showing you that? Nobody. And on when we go over these stocks a year in advance before anybody else knows about them. That's what we do on Crypto Hulk Show. I got a definite show lined up for tonight, 5:00 p.m. And I got to turn this show over to the general public. Well, David, I got just one guy signed up, so that'll be, you could be number 2. So, but yeah, you'll get, just hook it up. I got to look at some things, but like to get back. Yeah. So now it's like 3 months, but it's not always, it's just, we're doing this temporary because I think we're getting close to something here. And, it's supposed to pop off in a couple months. So I figure what good's 1 month going to do? Give you a 2 to 3. So we'll go with 3. I'll see y'all 5:00 p.m. Pacific time. I've got some more news lined up, real world stuff. It's all coming together. The stuff I'm going to show you, like, I don't doubt where I'm at. We're all kind of like, hey, we know Crypto Hulk's information is good. What the fuck's taking so long, right? That's pretty much where I'm at too. I see all this stuff, all this fundamental new shit. I'm like, there's no fucking way the prices are dumping. It's got to be manipulated. I'm not going to be manipulated. I'll see y'all at the next show.